This is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. They will continue our lab, the Red Alert Lab. This is the video number 76. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been working now for 11 videos on creating a Windows 11 master image with different open source programs and some tips and tricks to enhance and increase the performance of Windows 11. We have done this already through 10 videos. And the previous video and this video we will talk about how we can take an image of Windows 11. Okay, we have discussed this before. We have two methods from taking an image of Windows 11 with all of its programs and tips and tricks. One by using something called Desmo command, so you can access the Windows through the safe mode and then use the Desmo command to take an image of the C partition which contains the operating system of the Windows 11. Okay, and then after taking this image we insert it in Windows 11 DVD downloaded from the Microsoft website. So basically what we are doing, we are taking an image of our Windows 11 and then insert it in an original Windows 11 DVD downloaded from the Microsoft website, and then we will use this DVD to install the operating system normally. So it seems to be that you are installing Windows 11 or a normal Windows 11 installation, but it is not. It is restoring an image. Okay, this is one method using the Desmo command, and another method is to use third-party programs like Acronis or Norton Ghost, and we have discussed this before. So we have taken images of Windows 11 using the Desmo command and the Acronis programs, and the previous video we are restoring the first Windows 11 image that we have taken using the Desmo command. We have done this in the previous video. This video we will discuss how we can restore the Windows 11 image using the Acronis. So we have discussed before how we can take an image using the Acronis. This video we will discuss how we can restore the image and what are the different notes that we can monitor or we can see when we are restoring the image. So let's see how we can do this. So basically in the previous video I have already created a virtual machine and I have restored the image that I have taken using the Desmo command. So what I will do, I will restore my Acronis image or the image taken by Acronis on the same virtual machine. So I will not create a new virtual machine, I will restore my image on this machine. So what you do first, we need to put an Acronis bootable CD. So we'll use this Acronis bootable CD to restore our image. Okay, we have used this Acronis bootable CD to take an image. We will use the same Acronis bootable image to restore our image. So we use Acronis bootable CD to take an image, and we use the Acronis CD to restore our image. So first we will power on the virtual machine, and then we need to put our Acronis image on the D partition of the machine. Okay, and then boot the machine with the Acronis DVD and point to this image on the D partition and restore it. The image, by the way, it's only for the C partition. Okay, so it will not restore the D partition. Anyway, so we now log into the machine with any user, and then we will copy the image from my laptop to this virtual machine. So now this is the local administrator number 2. We will log in with the username and password and then press enter. And I need you all to focus on what will happen. Remember that the previous video, the safe mode or the advanced boot options for the Windows that we have created earlier in previous videos, the one I mean advanced options for booting something like safe mode with command prompt, safe mode with network, all of this we have done before and we have successfully tested it. Please refer to my videos concerning how we can create advanced boot options for Windows 11. Okay, so now we will log in. First of all, we need to see here something. Here there is something called Updating Store App 9 out of 70. Remember that we have used the MSMG toolkit to remove the Windows Store and Cortana from this Windows operating system. in the previous video we have seen that the Windows Store is still there, but for a certain reason now it is removed, and the Cortana is removed actually. So I think it needs some time until the Windows Store is removed, maybe a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, a couple of days. Anyway, I don't remember our, I don't see what happened, but if we go now and check the Windows, we will see that the Windows Store is removed. So that means that the MSMG tool successfully removed the Windows Store and the Cortana. We will see that in a moment. I will show you all that we have successfully used the MSMG tool to remove Windows Store and Windows Cortana. In the previous video it seems that they are still there and we have seen it already, but for certain reason it was successfully removed. So now what we will do, we'll go and get the image of Windows 11 taken by the Acronis and put it on the D partition and then restore it, okay, by using the Acronis bootable CD. Anyway, so I go now and open this PC and take the image from the shared folder between my laptop and this virtual machine, or between my physical machine and my virtual machine, or between my host and my guest. Okay, so now we will go and open okay, the folder from network, and then this shared folder which is called VMware host. Okay, this is my laptop, this is the folders on my laptop, shared folders, and then I will take my image. The image taken by Acronis, its extension is .tibx or .tib. Okay, so now we will take this image and see how we can restore it through the Acronis bootable CD. Anyway, so now if we go there, we have our Windows 11 custom folder. In it we have our Windows 11 backup.tibx. This is the image of Windows 11 taken by the Acronis. And by the way, we have used the Acronis to take an image of the C partition and the two system partitions. Remember in the previous video I have discussed what is the two system partitions, and they are very important for the Windows to boot, because the boot files are placed in these two partitions. So the Acronis have taken these two partitions into consideration, and we will see now when we restore it, our advanced boot options will appear again. It didn't appear in the previous video, or it didn't appear in the previous restoration of Windows using the Dismo command. Okay, anyway, if we open the apps, okay, in the Windows here, we will see that the Windows Store, it is removed. So if you open all programs and then we will open the apps, we will see that the Windows Store is removed. Okay, if we open there, here we can see that suddenly the Windows Store is removed and the Cortana is removed. In the previous video they were still listed here, but for some reason they are removed. So that means the MSMG tool successfully removed the Windows Store and the Cortana. You can search through the apps, you will not see them. Anyway, so now we are copying the image of Windows 11 and then we will boot with the Acronis DVD, okay, and restore this image. Anyway, there is something here we need to take into consideration. If I need to boot from the CD using the virtual machine, there is no direct way to boot from the CD within the virtual machine. I need to do a certain trick to boot from the CD inside the virtual machine. Okay, there is no F12, or there is no key to boot or to choose from the boot devices or the boot order within a virtual machine. Even though if you can access the BIOS in the virtual machine, it will not give you an option to boot from the CD. I have tried it, but I wasn't successfully able to do this. So what we will do here, we will force the Windows to boot in advanced boot options or in a recovery mode, and through the recovery mode we will tell him to boot from the CD. Let me show you all how we can do this, but we need to jump to number 11, or minute number 11. We go to system and then we go to recovery. Take care, we go to recovery and tell him to advanced startup. From here it will give us an option. When we start up or when we boot the Windows, it will give us some options. One of these options is to boot from CD. So this will help me to boot from my CD on this virtual machine. So if you are having problems to boot from a CD within a virtual machine, this is the way. So here we can see that we have some options. We will not boot directly to Windows. Here we can see continue to booting to Windows 11, or to use a device. So I will choose this option to boot from a device like a DVD or a USB. So this is a very good option to boot from a CD or DVD within a virtual machine, especially if this virtual machine has already an operating system installed on it. If it's a newly fresh virtual machine, it will search the boot devices and it will automatically boot from the DVD or USB. So anyway, we will boot from the DVD. So we tell him use a device and then use my virtual SATA DVD-ROM. So now it will boot from the Acronis DVD. It will restart and give us some options to choose from. Here we need to press number 1 to select Acronis Cyber Protect Home Office program. This is the program that we will use to restore our image. Okay, so what we will do now, we will have, or we are booting to the or we are accessing the Acronis software, and now we are given the option to back up or to restore. So here we tell him to recover my disk. So this is how we can recover. And now this is the backup that we have taken earlier. So we'll tell him the recovery method. Okay, recover whole disks and partitions, and recovery point. This was taken at 14th of May, Saturday. So we need to step on it, or here we can need to tell him to, again we will step here or on 14. Okay, and then choose the time. Okay, here we'll choose the time. No, we need to step on 14 and then tell him to choose the time. This backup was taken 14th of May 2022 at 11:45 a.m. What to recover? Here we need to be very careful. We need to recover the C partition, the EFI system partition. This is very, very important because this partition will have our safe mode options installed on it. So remember that we have earlier done that when we boot through the Windows 11, we are not accessing directly the operating system. You are given some options to access Windows normally, or to access it in safe mode, or safe mode with command prompt, or safe mode with network, or safe mode normal safe mode. So this is some modification that I have done. So these modifications are not on the C partition, it's on the EFI system partition. So what we will do, we need to restore the C partition and the EFI system partition. The recovery partition, it's not there. We remember that when the previous video created a virtual machine and partitioned the hard disk, we have only two partitions, the C, the D partition. There is no recovery. There is EFI system partition and another partition. Okay, so the recovery partition is not there, so we cannot restore it. So what we will do, we will choose to restore the C partition and the EFI partition, and after choosing them, we need to point to or to make sure that it is correctly mapped, or it is correctly chosen and restored, because after choosing these two partitions, it will go and tell me so where this partition is. Okay, so you need to go to your hard disk and choose the same partition, to map the same partition to this one. So let me show you all what I mean. If I go there, if we go there, for example, let me go a little bit further here. So let's go from the beginning again. So let me go further again. So what we need to recover here, what we will do here, we need to choose this and that. Okay, and then we need, after that, what we will do, we need to tell him the first partition, we need to tell him the location. So here what I have done here is telling me what to recover and where to recover it. So what to recover? Need to recover the EFI system partition. Where this partition resides or where it is located, it will give you a window and you can browse your hard disk and choose the partition to recover on. Okay, so this is EFI system partition we have created earlier, and the EFI system partition we have taken from the image. So we need to recover this EFI EFI image to this EFI partition. Oh, this is the first one, and then we need also to choose the partition C. So we need to recover the partition C. Here we need to choose the partition location. So this is the partition location. So we need to choose the partition to recover and where to recover it. And then tell him finish. And at the end, you can tell him after restoring these two partitions, you need to restart the PC. And take good care. After restarting the PC, we will see that our advanced boot options will appear. Remember that in the previous video it was disappeared, or it didn't appear because the system partition was not taken into consideration, or we didn't take an image of the system partition. Take a good look. When we restart the computer and then pause the video, we will see that the boot options, or the advanced boot options, will appear. So that means that our recovery is successful. Okay, so let's restart, or let's take a moment, restart the computer when the operation is completed. So pause and then 1 minute. And then we need to restart after 10 seconds. We will see here that our boot or advanced boot options will appear because we have taken an image of the EFI system partition with the Acronis, and this we have not done using the Dismo command, using the method of taking image using the Dismo command. You have only taken an image of the C using the Dismo command. We have said before that the advanced boot options are residing, or it is within the EFI system partition. So let's wait and see. Now we can see, or from a couple of seconds, we will see that the advanced boot options appeared. It didn't appear in the previous restoration method using the Dismo command. So let's wait and see. If we go there and wait for a couple of seconds, here we can see that we have seen our options, or our advanced boot options. Now we can normally boot to Windows 11 and then begin recovering, or begin discovering the image. You need to take care that before restoring the image we have 3 users. Okay, local administrator number 2, standard user, and Krauf. Now we have only Krauf, and that means that our restoration of the image is successful. Now we need to go and create 2 users again, standard user and administrator number 2 users, and test and see if the image is completely or it is successfully restored, and the settings and the application and the user setting are all correct. So we need to log in and then create 2 users and see the different things. You need to see desktop of the user, or the desktop of the default user. We need to see the Windows Store and Cortana if they are still there or not. So we need to test all of these things. We can see here that the Acronis method is much more effective, because the Acronis lets you choose what partitions to back up and back them up in one file. But using the Dismo commands, you can only take an image and put it on one file. If you need to take another image of another partition, you need to put it on another file, or another separate file. You cannot put, or you cannot take an image of 2 partitions with one command line or within one file using the Dismo command. This, as far as I have tested, maybe there is another way. Anyway, we will go and create 2 users, or create 1 user, and see the different setting, or test this Windows and see if it is working correctly or not. So we need to tell him to create a user and see what will happen. We'll see the desktop, we will see the icons on the desktop, we will see different setting, all of these things. And remember, I have taken the image of this PC with its static IP address on its network card. So this is a very critical or very wrong step to do. You need to remove any static IP address on the machine that you are taking image from. So you will not see any duplicate IPs in your network, especially if you are restoring this image on large PCs, or a large number of PCs. Now we tell him to right click this PC and different options, or show more options and manage, and then create a user to access the PC on and see the different settings. So now we tell him manage, and then it will take a little bit of time. And then here we will go and create a user. This will be the local or the second local administrator, Kira of 2, and see the desktop of this user. Okay, so Kira of, the full name and the description and the username and password. We will not change the password later. So here we have created another user, and see, this means that our image is restored successfully, because before restoring the image we have two users and they are removed. Okay, here we need to remove Karim from the normal users or the standard users, or Kira of 2 from the standard users, to be in the local administrators group. He need to be the second local administrator on the machine. So okay, and apply and okay, and then we have successfully created the user. We need now to log off and then log in back and see the desktop of this user. So we will sign out, and then we need to test the user to see the desktop, to see the icons, to see the Windows Store, the Windows Cortana. So we have successfully created a master image, or a Windows 11 master image with all the tips and tricks and tweaks, and we have removed the unnecessary programs to increase the security of our Windows operating system. Windows Store is removed, Cortana is removed, so we have removed also Solitaire and the games, so the users will not be able to play games on the Windows 11. So let's see, when we log in with this user, let's see what will be the desktop. Okay, so this will be the last video for creating a Windows 11 master image. In the upcoming video we will continue working with our lab. We have a lot of things to do actually. After that we need to work with the app locker group policy. We'll talk about it later, and we will talk about a lot of things actually. Some of them is very important, so stay tuned. Anyway, so here we are testing the different folders: video folder, music folder, pictures folder, documents folder. All of these are moved from the C to the D partition, especially in the My Documents folder. Okay, so now we see the desktop, it is already complete and have a lot of things. Now if you go to the apps, what we will see that the Windows Store is removed, but here we can see the Cortana. This is very strange. Actually it should be removed. Actually it was removed before, so I think this is a bug or something. If we restart the machine, it will be removed, but it should be removed completely, the Cortana and the Windows Store. So I think this is the end of the video. So hope this video is informative for you all. Thank you all for viewing. The upcoming video will be talking, or will complete our lab concerning we need to do an app locker group policy to control the applications working on a machine, on our normal workstation or on a server. And we will talk about different things actually, how we can install Windows language package on machines using a group policy. Okay, for example, we have two kind of users, Japanese users and Russian users. We need their Windows interface language to be with their mother tongue language, so we need to do this using a group policy. I will discuss this maybe the upcoming video. Hope this is informative to you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.